As it stands, PetSmart has released an official press notice saying that it is pet.
Welcome back to the Encore Club podcast. Joining me to build his dream concert today, it is the hilarious Ben Lapidus. How are you, Ben?
I'm great, Will. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much for joining me. Let's jump straight into it because I am conscious of time. I'm going to just jump straight into bold
Please.
questions, so bear with me. Here we go. Have you ever made yourself laugh mid-performance and just kind of lost it completely?
Yes, I know I have. I'm trying to think of specific examples of what happened. Usually, it's some sort of interaction with the crowd, like something off the cuff that just makes me giggle. I
Nice.
can't actually think of a specific instance right now, but the answer is yes, for sure. Those are the best moments, in fact.
Has it ever been like an audience member or something like that that's maybe thrown you off, or is it something that you or maybe someone on stage with you does?
Um, it's a good question. I'm not really sure. I don't. I haven't run into too bad of a heckler yet in my career, so I haven't had to deal with that. But but yeah,
Okay, awesome. This is a bit of a tough one, but if you had to explain your humor to a 5-year-old, what would you
yeah.
say to them?
Well, it's funny you asked that question because I feel like a 5-year-old could pretty much encapsulate my humor.
Nice.
I think I there's a story my mom tells where I was so obsessed with saying pee pee and poo poo when I was around 5 years old that the rule was I could only use toilet humor if I went into the bathroom. So I would just go into the bathroom by myself and say pee pee and poo poo and laugh very hard. So I've always been good at entertaining myself, and I think the trend has continued.
Nice. I can imagine you just kind of locked in the bathroom and you just hear you giggling away whilst
Yeah,
whilst
yeah.
said, okay, let's be honest. This is the question that everyone wants me to ask. Have you found out yet? Is it PetSmart or is it Pet Smart?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I'm so glad the Encore Club is bringing awareness to this very timely and important issue. Uh, as it stands, PetSmart has released an official press notice saying that it is PetSmart. I personally don't buy that. They are completely ignoring the fact that the bouncing ball in their logo is an apostrophe between the T and the S, making it Pets Mart. Um, this is something called strategic ambiguity in the corporate world, and it's a way for the powers that be to hold on to their power by lying blatantly to the American people and to the people of the world. And that's exactly why I started this PetSmart movement, and the fight continues. We still haven't gotten the answers we deserve, but we will.
Quite right too. I saw that you held quite a gathering outside a PetSmart, PetSmart,
Yeah,
and it looked pretty epic. And you
yeah,
you performed out in the parking lot, right?
yeah. That's right. So for those of you who might not know, um, the question as to whether it is PetSmart or PetSmart has bothered me for years. And I finally got the courage to speak up, and I decided to write a metal protest song asking this question directly. This happened to go viral earlier this year, and it was the energy and the anger of the people that made what came next possible, which was a rally concert at a PetSmart here in Los Angeles, where we had musical acts and celebrity cameos and a whole crowd, a whole sea of incredibly brave, impassioned people who wanted answers just like I did.
Fuck yeah, that's what I like to hear. Amazing. We'll get an answer one day. One day we'll get
We
a
will.
firm answer that will satisfy the people. Um, let's let's talk about what formed you musically when you were younger. So tell me about the first like proper concert you went to.
First concert I ever went to was a Backstreet Boys concert,
No way.
actually.
Okay, that's
Yeah, I
amazing.
was a big Backstreet Boys fan. I had all their posters. I uh and it was pretty amazing. I was probably, like, 6, 7, and my late grandpa took me to Backstreet Boys, just him and he suffered through that, and I had the time of my life.
Amazing.
It was an amazing experience, yeah.
You know, I've done about 50 odd episodes of this so far, and, not only have I never had, like, Backstreet Boys, I've never had, like, a pop apart from Michael Jackson, I've never had, like, a pop act as the first, like, concert, and so I'm so gassed that we got Backstreet Boys in there from the get-go, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, what did you have a guilty pleasure currently in terms of
Do
music?
I right now have a guilty pleasure? Um, I mean, this isn't really guilty, I don't really feel guilt around music, but I love Demi Lovato's new album.
Nice. Yeah, it's a banging album, like, yeah, no, don't
Yeah,
no need to feel worried about that at all.
yeah,
Um, okay, this is a question we ask absolutely everyone that comes on the podcast,
mhm.
and it doesn't have to be a celebrity. It can be a celebrity, it's completely up to you, but, it could be a family member or anything like that, but who is your biggest hero in life?
Um, yeah, I would say there's, so I'm breaking character a little bit, but
Yeah.
really I'm really passionate about meditation, actually, and I have a lot of parasocial relationships with these people who had dedicated their life to waking up. And there's someone in particular, he goes by Adi Ashanti, and he is just um, someone who radiates wisdom and love and truth. And I truly, I think, I think that is heroic to me to have devoted your entire life to to getting answers.
Love that.
Ultimately, answers as to what the hell is going on really? You know, really, what does life mean, and what does it mean to be human, and who are we really? So that's truly inspiring to me, and, I've gained so much from him and people like him.
Amazing. Well, thank you for breaking character for that because I feel like that was an important one to share, and I really like I'm happy that you did. So I appreciate it. Let's set the scene for your dream concert. So the way this will work
Yeah.
is we're going to talk about your dream venue first, and I'll kind of prompt you for the acts a little bit later. Just to give you an idea, we've had like really wild venues. We've had a forest under the northern lights in Alaska, no stage, like SpongeBob and his friends all huddling around doing a ritual. Or we've had like Glastonbury Festival. So it ranges to whatever your mind can
Okay,
think up.
I'm so it's anything is permissible here. I can set whatever venue I want, anything like that.
Exactly, you go for it.
Okay. I'm gonna say the city of Atlantis,
Oh,
and it is kind of, there's like a big dome that seals this entire city and the venue, like a plexiglass dome, and it's basically a giant aquarium wherever you look, see sharks and fish and everything like that, and, the sun streaming through, the top of the ocean, and, you know, just, incredible ancient alien architecture, in a big outdoor amphitheater.
I love that. Okay, amazing. Atlantis, that's incredible. Who are you taking with you to your concert?
I'm taking my girlfriend, and I'm taking a core group of, good friends, and I'm taking my 2 cats, and I think that'll do it.
Nice. Shout out Ben's friends, Ben's girlfriend, and Ben's cats. I've got 2 cameras here and here, by the way, so I'm not just randomly speaking to a wall, like
Fantastic.
um, amazing. Okay, so we've got who's going with you. I now need to know, do you have a bit of a like, when you're going to a concert, do you have a bit of a ritual? Do you go to the bar first? Do you just go and find somewhere to kind of get a good view? Um, do you go to the merch stand or anything like that?
Yeah, I do like to check out the merch. I depending on the concert, depending on the kind of music, whether I want to optimize for sound, for view, or for energy. So that might be like, the back corner on an elevated surface if I'm just trying to get a good view.
Nice.
Um, right in the front if I want the energy of the crowd, or right central in the optimal sound position for the speakers if I'm really just wanting to like dance and uh, enjoy the music.
I love that. I love that. Okay, awesome. So I think we've quite nicely set the scene here for your gig. Before we go into the first act, let me ask
Hmm.
a few quick questions, and I've got a very quick game to play with you as well.
Okay.
Um, so first question: what song instantly changes your mood?
Mm. There's a song called "Leaving Cleveland" by The Fad. They are a ska punk band, and they've been broken up for over a decade now. But it is just my like happy driving with the windows down. I've got There's even a lyric in the song. It's like, got no bad intentions and I've got no remorse. Just like I'm free. I feel good. I'm loving life. That's the song I put on when I'm vibing.
I love that. I love that. What would you say has been your proudest moment so far in your career? That's a tough one because there's been a
Yeah,
few.
proud is an interesting word because the moments I cherish the most are moments where I can't really take credit for it. Um, for instance, like my audition at America's Got Talent was such a an alchemy of different components of what happened. So, for those of you who might not have seen, I auditioned for America's Got Talent a few years ago, and I was doing a musical comedy song about wanting more Parmesan cheese at an Italian restaurant. And I had prepared for the judges to like it, and I'd prepared for the judges to not like it. And what happened was something so unpredictable and such a, uh, it just came out of the specific circumstances of the day. So what's interesting about auditioning for America's Got Talent is there are 2 blocks. For whatever day your audition is scheduled, there are 2 blocks with 2 different audiences, and I was scheduled to go last in the first block. And from what I heard from people my peers who were also auditioning, who went during the first block before me, the audience was a bit cold. They were not very responsive. And I was, kind of steeling myself for that, being like, all right, well, I just got to show up and do my best and not count on the energy of a good crowd to buoy me. So I was getting ready to go. And then I was told that things were running late. And so I would instead go first or near the beginning of the second block of auditions, which meant a whole new crowd. And the reason that happened is because Howie, one of the judges, had COVID. And so he was running late, and there were technical difficulties getting him set up to be a judge remotely. So anyway, I I go in for the audition for the second block with a whole new crowd full of college kids who are just so like energetic and so into it. So that is just an incredible stroke of good luck that made the experience possible. What ended up happening is I got up there and I played my song, and pretty quickly into it, I got an X from a judge and an X from another and an X from another. And the only one who really vibed with what I was doing was Heidi Klum. And during the break, after I'd been completely X'd, um, the crowd is starting to get behind me. They're like, "We see what you're doing. We don't really agree with the judges." And that motivates Heidi to say, "Well, let's give him another shot. Let's let him go again." And at that point, I was really picking up on the vibe of the crowd, which is something that's like so deeply ingrained for me as someone who grew up in like, a pop punk hardcore scene in Pennsylvania where it was all about crowd energy. It was all about listening to the crowd and feeding off their energy. So, I feel like a very deep instinct kicked in where I just completely tuned out the judges and focused all my attention on the crowd, and there was a kind of energetic feedback loop where I was getting more insane and they were getting more rowdy, and I just ended up, like, screaming and going absolutely insane, being, like, just a clown and just reveling in the failure, and the crowd went so wild that the judges had no choice but to reverse their X's and send me through onto the next round. So, that was a moment where I feel like I can't take credit for the amazing crowd that was there. I can't on some level, I can't take credit for what came out of me because of the crowd, because it was so, uh my mind, the part of me that I identify with could have never orchestrated, predicted, or even navigated that situation. It was like I just surrendered and something incredibly primal came out and carried me through. So that was an amazing moment.
I love that. Then in which case, let's not say proudest moment, but the moments that meant the most to you, I think is probably a fair way of putting it rather than proud.
Yeah.
I love that, and I do seem to recall Simon started singing along at one point as well. So that's pretty awesome, and also the song had like a pretty epic chorus that was quite the hook was there to for everyone to sing along to.
Mm,
You kind of built a perfect storm there, in the
mhm.
perfect setting, and who'd have thought that, COVID would have helped your career slightly? So,
It's true.
um, it's a huge thing. Amazing. Okay, I need you to imagine that you are starring in a movie. Excuse me.
Okay.
You're starring in a movie, and,
Okay.
you're at a scene where you are about to rob a bank, and I need you to pick the music that goes over that scene.
I'm thinking of uh what's the song that's like, oh wah, ah, ah, ah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Down
about?
with the sickness.
Yeah, Down with the Sickness. Yeah,
Amazing. I
yeah.
love that. That fits so well as well. Okay, yeah, yeah, okay. Spot on. Let's do a real quick game. It's called The Sacred Three. There will be a logo here somewhere. I need you to pick one song, one artist, their whole catalog, and one album, but all other music in the world is just deleted from existence, and that is all you're left
Oof.
with.
One song, one artist, one album.
That's the one.
Okay. Um, okay, for song, I'm gonna go with "Heart to Break" by Kim Petras, which I
Nice.
think which I think is I think is the best pop song ever written, frankly.
Fair enough.
Um, that'd be my one song. My one artist in their entire discography. That's a toughie. And this is just for me, or is this like I'm preserving this for the world?
So, this is you're doing it for the world. It is your
Oh,
sacred
shit.
tree, but, like,
Well,
you don't have to care about them at all. Like,
okay, okay. I'll be
it's your
totally
choice.
selfish. Um, and I'll pick the Story So Far's entire catalog.
Nice. Right, and finally, one album.
One album, I'm gonna pick, Music for Psychedelic Therapy by John Hopkins, which is the most beautiful ambient music I've ever heard.
Amazing. What a great mix of music there. You've covered a few areas there quite
Mm,
nicely. So I love that. That's your sacred three. We are on to the first act of your dream gig.
okay.
So who have you got for me, Ben?
Okay, this is my dream concert.
This is just the first act for now.
Just the first, and I have 3?
You have 3 acts in total, yeah, and, we'll get to the second and third a little bit later.
Okay, I'll do, um, Sufjan Stevens for the first
Ooh,
act.
nice. Okay, any reason
Mhm.
why?
I feel like, I mean, that's a concert I would love to see. I actually have not seen him live, and I feel like it's music I could, I'm not yet thrashing, but I'm just enjoying myself, and I'm just loving it.
Nice. Easing yourself into it nicely as
Yeah.
well. That's a good
Mhm.
choice. What's the encore song?
I mean, it would have to be, Chicago.
Nice, nice. Chicago. Okay. It's probably a really good time to mention to you that with every episode we do, I take all the songs that are mentioned by you and me throughout the whole episode, and at the same time as releasing the episode, I release a Spotify playlist so that everyone can
Mhm,
hear all the music that you talk about. So,
mhm.
if you want to, at any point throughout the episode, just start shoehorning loads of your songs in, and we'll get
Oh,
those
great.
in the playlist as well. Then you go ahead. That's
Yeah,
fine by me.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, great.
a few more quick questions before we go to the second act. These are slightly deeper and then just go mad a little bit, so bear with me. What's something you used to care about, but you don't care about anymore as a creator? Sorry, I should preface that.
Whoa, good question. Something I used to care about that I don't care about anymore. Well, I wouldn't say I don't care at all anymore, but I care a lot less about going viral,
Nice.
about virality. Um, I just, having experienced it, I understand what it's good for, and I also understand the limitations of it. And like, it's cool to have a really big moment on the internet, but it's also, a lot less impactful than people might imagine.
Fair.
So I just don't. I mean, I'm very happy when it happens, but I do not strive to make it happen.
That's fair enough. It's funny you say that because I interviewed someone last night and they pretty much said the exact same thing to the
Mm.
same question. They said, I'm not that fussed about the views essentially anymore. It's more about what I feel is good content to put out. And if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, I enjoy doing it kind of thing. So
The truth is that's the only sustainable perspective to have when you're making content, because if you're trying to please people, um, you'll go insane. It's just like you'll just quit. You'll just stop. And I've been very close to calling it quits. Not in terms of music, I'll never stop making music, but I've come close to calling it quits trying to promote my music through social media because it's so crazy making. If you have that perspective of the only reason I'm doing this is because I want it to work. If that's, I mean, and working by meaning like getting some amount of views that you consider a success. It's just not possible to do that long term. You'll
that's
burn out.
yeah. Yeah. I think that's especially for like newer creators, for example, me. That's
Mm,
something that's good to hear. Like, I kinda need to hear that kind of thing because it's like, I think I maybe push myself to try and do something, that is essentially trying to create viral moments. So, like, I
mm.
used questions in this podcast that kind of baited people a little bit into giving me stuff, and then I just felt like shit afterwards because like, I didn't wanna do that to that person. Like, I didn't
That's
wanna
interesting. Yeah.
do that,
Can you give
and
me what's an example of a question that you wouldn't, that you maybe have asked in the past that you would feel
I literally tried
weird about?
one, very recently, and I felt really bad afterwards, and I kinda felt it kinda turned the interview. It was towards the end, so it wasn't that bad, and I'm gonna cut it out completely, but, I basically said, I'm gonna put you on the spot now, um, I need you to call out someone within your kind of influencer circle that would be good on this podcast and call them out to come on the podcast, and it just for me, it left a very sour taste in my mouth of like, "Why? Why am I doing that?" Like, I don't need
Mm,
I'm getting people on the podcast. I don't need to then hop on someone else's back to be like, "You need to now be put on the spot to force them into that." And so, yeah, I do feel bad for that.
mm. Yeah. I know, I totally understand why. Um, but, the podcasts I like the most are ones where it's just, like, people arrive at a conversation they didn't expect,
Mm.
and it's just natural and interesting.
Yeah, I think, the deepest ones I've had have just been so like, they've gone so off course of like, we still managed to get in the whole kind of premise of the show of the kind of 3 dream acts, a dream venue and everything, but everything in between has just been like this genuine conversation that I didn't expect to come out because I've pre-written all these questions and stuff, and it's
Right,
like,
right.
mm, yeah, I do love it when it just feels it just flows a little bit more naturally.
Yeah. Wait, so Will, when did you decide to start a podcast, and what was that like?
So, I started this in 2021 during COVID,
Mhm,
um, and the first person I got on the podcast, first people, was Wheatus, the band Wheatus,
mhm.
and it was back when, um, I didn't have any of this, I didn't have any production, I had my built-in camera on my Mac, and I was just sat there in a hoodie and a baseball cap in the corner of my bedroom with shit lighting, and I just said to myself, "This could be better. This can be so much more than it is." And I went away for 4 years, rebuilt it, turned it into this is season 3 now, and, I think the sum total of, like, just my guests following combined is well over 10 million, and it's just I don't know how, but just through messaging publicists and people like you, like, upfront and honestly just saying, "Come on the podcast," I've had such an amazing response from people that I just wouldn't expect to come on the podcast at all, people with millions of followers.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, it's so interesting to me when people like, I'll get DMs sometimes, and it'll be like, "Hey, I'm not sure if you're ever gonna see this, and I'm not even sure if you're running this account, but whatever, whatever, here's something," and I'm like, I feel like people don't understand that, like, having an Instagram following does not mean, like, I have this entire infrastructure around me. Like, I'm still just a guy, and I make all my music myself, and everything I do is, like, direct, like, I reach out to someone directly, just like you did for me, and, yeah. It's interesting because I feel like people who want to start something, like a podcast or even start putting out music or whatever, they might look at someone with, like, an Instagram following like me, which is I have, like, 170,000 followers right now, and that's because I had a huge bump after the PetSmart viral thing. And I wonder if because this is what I did. I would put that on, like, a pedestal that was completely out of reach, and I would fantasize about what it must mean for that person to have this Instagram following. And I thought, like, "Oh, man, they have a whole team around them." Basically, I built it up to something that now that I have it, it's not anything like I thought. Like, I'm working just as hard, if not harder. Um, and so I wonder if, like, because there's an interesting symmetry between, I think, the tendency to think that getting to a certain point means like, "Oh, you've made it," is related or is proportional to how much resistance you have to starting. Like, just start. Just start making music, start the podcast, whatever it is you wanna do.
Yeah, I agree. I think, to kind of bring it back to, like, how I've gone about it, just because obviously that's all I know, um, um, there's been so many kind of chops and changes to try and work out what feels most natural and what actually works and what people are responding to, and, yeah, I mean, do you feel like the kind of bump in your followership has changed your life, like, significantly? Because I've personally, like, if I was to get, for example, 10% of your following, genuinely, I feel like that would completely change my life. And I know it wouldn't financially do much for me, but at least I can leverage that to maybe get, the bigger guests and things like that. For a podcast, I think 10,000 followers is actually fucking huge. Like, it's a
Right.
really big thing. Um, and the engagement that should come with that as well would be insane for a podcast. But
That's where things get tricky and technical, and it has a lot to do with the algorithm.
mm,
I think this is another, like, misconception. When I post something, most of the views do not come from my followers, like, if I'm posting a reel, and that's because every single piece of content is put into this system that it's really just trying to reach the people for whom the engagement will be optimized, maximized. And that's not always my followers. More often than not, it's not my followers. So what that also means is that most of my like the follower count is like a nice way to kind of it can get your foot in the door and it can make people read your DM who otherwise wouldn't. But I don't think it does a whole lot in terms of viewership and, um,
the
like,
engagement.
actually getting the reach you want, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting when you think about the parallels between, a creator that's got, like me, 2,000 odd followers on Instagram. I've got 11,000 on YouTube, but that really means nothing because the views on there are few and far between, and the retention time is slim. Um, and then, yeah, someone with a bigger amount, but they don't necessarily view it as the important side of what they value in their platform, I guess, like their whole output and stuff. It's really, I don't think people know that. You know what I mean? It's not something that's the amount of conversations I've had with people who are just like, God, I just wish I could jump up to 30,000 followers and and get 1,000 likes on a post is mad to me.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, the only reason I say all this is because if I'm speaking to anyone who really wants to make art or make a podcast or make whatever it is they, like, have inside of them, I want them to do it, and I see fantasies about what it would mean to be successful in whatever domain as an impediment to starting. And the truth is, like, there are going to be like, when you start, there will be 1,000 moments of disillusion where you're like, "Wow, this is not what I thought it was." And that's good. That's
yeah,
really good because it will bring you back down to the foundation, which is the source of all good things, and that's, like, your desire to do it.
yeah,
So do it.
yeah, yeah, totally. Totally. That was really insightful, Ben. So thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I'm sure anyone watching would be like massively interested in that whole little conversation there as well. I think it's important for especially people that, like you said, that want to try, but maybe are uh, cautious about jumping into it because they're worried they're not going to reach the levels that they want to or that they dream is important. So yeah, I think it's just a really it needs to be said. Not many people say it.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Um, just so I can keep you on track for the
Yeah.
for the dream gig. Let's talk about your second act for the night.
Okay, so I said Sufjan Stevens. Whew. Okay, okay. Hmm. Can I can I do, like, a band from a certain, like, time period in their career?
100%, 100%. You can do it like it's however you want it to be.
Okay, I'll do, like, Blink, Enema of the State time
Nice.
period.
Okay, okay, cool. Okay, we're going back a little bit with Blink there. I love that. Do you have a choice for encore song there?
Oh, I think it's called Not Now. There's, like, a bonus track on yeah, Not Now by Blink-182.
Not Now's a great song. Yes, great. Okay, amazing. Any reason why you've picked Not Now? Just out of curiosity? Is it just a
I don't
favorite for you?
know, I just feel like if they played that one, it's, like, not a super well-known one, but it's one of my favorites,
Mm,
and, I would be fucking stoked if they played that as an encore.
I love that. Okay, original lineup and everything, yeah? Like, literally
Oh, yeah.
back in the yeah, cool,
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. Oh, yeah, the trio.
Amazing. Okay, I wanna play one quick game with you,
Cool.
here. This one is called Rogue Rockstar Riders. Now obviously you're aware of what a rider is when you go to a gig. This is your chance to build quite a wild one. Um, I've got like 4 different categories, and I need you to pick 3 items from each category,
Okay.
to build your rider. So we'll start with drinks.
Okay.
What would you go for?
Um, how about, like, a boozy Shirley Temple?
Oh, okay, nice. You get 2 more drinks as well. Is there anything else that you wanna throw in?
Yeah, I'll do, like, one of those soon to be outlawed in Los Angeles kratom, drinks.
I don't know what that is.
I'm getting turned up at this in this
Okay,
green room.
nice. That's what I like to hear. Okay, cool. I don't know what that drink is, so I'm obviously UK based, don't really get them.
Don't don't look into it, don't try it, forget I ever said it, it's not good for you.
Okay, no worries. And one more just for shits and giggles.
Let's just go classic Diet Coke.
Classic Diet Coke. Love that. Okay, let's talk food.
Okay.
What we got?
Alright. I'm gonna need I'm gonna need a triple cheeseburger and fries, cheese fries, and a milkshake from The Window, which is my favorite burger spot in LA.
Nice.
And so that's number 1. Number 2, I'm gonna need a filet mignon, medium rare, uh, and with a side of, mashed potatoes and gravy and cream spinach.
Nice.
Uh, and just for good measure, I'm gonna throw in, an Italian sub from Jimmy John's.
No, okay, nice. Okay, okay, awesome. Right, we're on to um luxury and diva items are pretty much the same thing. So I'm gonna say diva items, and I'm thinking things like all the floors and carpets have to be like furry white fabric or something crazy like that.
Okay. I will need like 25 to 40 sort of like, um, a bunch of women who just stand in the corner of the room sort of, like, smiling at me, and they just give me compliments. They just say they're very beautiful, and they just say nice things about me, like, all the time.
Love that. Amazing. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Perfect.
Um,
What
do
else?
I only get 1 diva item?
No, 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 you get 3, go for it.
Okay. So we talked about my harem of women, although it's nothing sexual, they just give me compliments.
Fair enough.
And let's say I'm gonna need, like, one of those, do you remember those contraptions? They're, like, made of plastic, you had them as a kid, where it was, like, a ball that you can, like, take it and they, like and it's, like, all these, like, interlocking pieces that, like, fold in and out like
Yes.
this?
Yeah, 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 like
Okay.
a almost like a fidget toy kinda thing.
Yeah, exactly. So for some reason, I'm gonna need, like, 10 of those.
Fair enough, yeah, cool, why not?
It's in my rider. It's part of my contract. And, also, a robot, like, one of those new robots, but that one is sexual. I do crazy stuff with the robot.
Okay, cool. Nothing sexual with the humans, sexual with the robot. I love
Yeah,
it. That works for me. What a rider. Amazing. That leads us really nicely into your headline act for your dream concert. So, for the last time today, who have you got for us?
I've gotta say the story so far. I've gotta put them on the headline. Every single song they have is a banger, and I love it.
I mean, look, it's a great choice. Um, so look, before they get into that encore song, I'm gonna throw you a bit of a curveball. Um, they are gonna bring out one special guest to perform one song. So I need you to tell me who the special guest is and what the song is, and then we'll go on to the encore after.
Okay, how about Soccer Mommy, and they play Circle the Drain.
Nice. Okay, cool. Lovely. And are they staying on stage for the actual encore as well, or they
Yeah,
gonna
why not?
yeah, fuck it, why not? Okay, cool. So
Okay.
what is the final encore for your full dream gig in Atlantis?
Oof. Okay, bear with me.
You go for it.
Yeah, I'll say, Nerve. Best story
Nerve.
so far. It's a great line.
Amazing. That's a really that's an awesome dream gig. Like Atlantis, all the acts, like
Oh, yeah.
it's in an amphitheater. You said right in
I
Atlanta.
almost forgot it was underwater, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
mad. The acoustics are gonna be crazy in that dome. I love it. Um, that's a incredible dream concert. Thank you so much, Ben, for
Of
building it with
course.
me. Before you go, something we do at the end of every episode, just really quickly, is quick fire would you rather's that just get progressively kind of weirder. Okay, so
Okay,
bear with me.
let's
I'm
do it.
gonna fire them out. Would you rather your guitar randomly goes out of tune mid-song or your voice switches accents every chorus?
Oh, I wish that my voice switched accents every chorus, that's
You just
awesome.
want that. Okay, awesome.
I've
Well,
always said that the most important thing, to be the most important quality of being a good singer is having a British accent. That
really,
alone makes
I
you a good singer in my book.
really, look, I've been trying to perfect an American accent my whole life, and like when it
Well,
comes
let's
to
hear it,
singing,
let's hear it.
where are you? Has to be done.
Tom DeLonge is your Tom DeLonge, I don't even know what the fuck his accent is, it's crazy. Yeah, yeah. There's some
Okay.
weirdly, like, some French in there.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, yeah.
DeLonge. Anyway,
Okay. Would you rather every crowd you perform to slowly starts copying your movements whilst maintaining eye contact, or
yes.
they completely ignore everything you do?
Uh, for sure the first one.
Nice. Okay.
I would
Would
love
you
that.
just random like people staring at you whilst you're? I mean, yeah. Okay, fine.
That
It
sounds
does sound
awesome.
fun. Would you rather every time you start a song, someone in the crowd shouts "wrong one," or every time you finish a song, someone whispers "this isn't going well" in your ear?
I'll take the whisper. I think that's a little easier to deal with. Song's already done.
Okay, love that. Would you rather every time you try to be funny, no one reacts, or every time you're serious, everyone laughs?
Every time I'm serious, everyone laughs. That's great. That's actually what I strive for. I wanna be serious, and then I want everyone to be like, "Ah, he's just kidding."
That kind of awkward moment where you're not sure if he's messing about.
It's perfect.
Okay, I love that. Would you rather someone loudly explains your joke while you're telling it, or ask you to repeat it mid punchline?
I think it would be interesting to have a sort of director's commentary, like, yeah, like, someone speaking over me. I think that'd be an interesting creative challenge.
I like that. That's cool. Would you rather conversations sometimes buffer or conversations sometimes skip like a scratched CD?
I'll take buffer. I've got a ton of shit to do anyway, so I'll use that time very wisely.
And finally, would you rather every time you take a bite of pizza, it screams, "Ow, motherfucker," or every time you sip water, it whispers, "Ooh, go on then, do it again"?
I like the water. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
hot.
I'm so sorry for doing it like that.
No, I
I've
love
literally
that.
never done that before, but, you have made it through the Encore Club. You've given us your, dream concert. You're an honorary member of the club. Before you go, Ben, please just let everyone know what you've got going on in your life at the moment.
Okay, what I've got going on, I'm going to Hawaii tomorrow. That's pretty cool. I'm
That's
going to
amazing.
Kauai and Maui, and, it's gonna rain the whole time, but I'm gonna have a great time. That's number 1. That's most important. Number 2, I have an album out, and for those of you who saw the PetSmart stuff on the internet, PetSmart is indeed a featured single on the album, but there are 22 tracks. They're all funny, they're all real, they're all good, and you should check it out. It's called Deeper and Dumber by Ben Lapidus.
Amazing, amazing, incredible. I actually checked it out as well just before this, and I was shocked that there was 22 tracks. I was like, he's kind of given us two albums in one here. So everyone, please go and check it out. Also, Ben, just give the people your Instagram handles and things like that, just so they can find you online.
For sure. I am Ben Lapidus Music on Instagram. Lapidus is Lapidus. On TikTok, I'm just Ben Lapidus. Um, and yeah, you'll find me everywhere else.
Just type him into Google, you'll find him. It's all good. Ben, thank you so much, mate. I appreciate you joining me.
Yeah, Will, it was great talking to you, man. Thank you so much for having me.